here from Brix. My name is Mark.
And my name is Jimmy.
And we are going to be driving around Oklahoma City today to go see one piece of property, one that Jimmy has listed. And we will do a quick tour of that. And on the way, we're going to chat just a little bit, kind of talk a little bit about real estate, what's going on, pet projects, things that we're kind of doing. But buckle in and be ready for the ride. And our chariot today is a 2017 Toyota Prius. While it might not look fancy, it does get 50.2 miles per gallon, which helps me drive all over the state of Oklahoma. This will be our ride today in Realtors and Rides, getting real about real estate. So, initial first episode of Realtors and Rides. Kind of the intent of this is we're just going to talk about real things that's going on in the real estate business, kind of put a personal feel to it. I mean, we all, as you saw from the pre-cut to this, is I'm not driving a Range Rover. It's the old Toyota Prius. So we just kind of want to chat on the way to a listing. This is Jimmy. He's with our agency here in Oklahoma City. We're going to go see one of his listings today and give us a tour of it. And kind of on the way, just kind of hear a little bit of chit-chat between realtors and what we're seeing in the business and kind of what we want everybody to either be aware of or what we want people to kind of be cognizant of when they think of real estate agent, realtor, the business, all in total.
Yeah.
So with that, off we go. So what's top of mind with you today? What's kind of one of the things that's something that's near and dear, something that you want to kind of open up for people to out in YouTube land to understand?
Near and dear would have to be DEI. DEI stands for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. For people that are not familiar with acronyms, we deal with so many acronyms in our line of work.
Yeah.
Not to mention all the other professionals that we deal with. And then when you step into the nonprofit world, it even gets even worse. But so in an attempt to just increase diversity within the realtor community and all the affiliates that we work with, we established a DEI committee in our association and on the state level, and we're just working to make it so that the realtor professionals, we represent the public, and so we wanted to represent the demographic that we are representing as well. So right now there's a disproportionate amount of realtors in certain ethnic groups versus what the ethnic makeup of Oklahoma is.
Okay.
And so there's just, over the past couple of years, it's just gotten a lot more traction in various parts of the government as well as in our association. We are having some education initiatives, like career advancement. We are trying a program where kids don't really know that it only takes like hard work to become a realtor, to become an inspector, to become a loan officer. You can get any of those jobs out of high school. Obviously, you have to get your pay your dues.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to start off with like an apprenticeship or some sort of like loan processing job. To get the experience you need, then you got to do a continuing education, and then you can, all these positions we make a living. We make a decent living, and I mean none of us are right. There's a couple of us that are driving those Range Rovers, but I drive a Honda Civic, so
Yep.
So we're pretty functional as far as the realtors go. But we are there's been organizations such as NARREP, which is the Hispanic Realtor Association, NARREB, the Realtist Association of Black Realtors. We're developing an Asian one called ARIA. We are combining that with the Alliance, the LGBTQ plus Alliance. So those are the four major DEI groups in Oklahoma, and we're working just to get the word out, to educate students and the public that these are the things that we want to do to help the community. We serve the community, and so we want to talk to the kids in school and just show them what a career path looks like if you want to become somebody that works in the real estate industry.
Right.
as far as the public goes, we're just trying to put a face to somebody, because people like to work with like people, and it doesn't always necessarily have to be an ethnic thing. But there is definitely a camaraderie when you see somebody. Like growing up, I didn't have many Asian icons on TV.
Sure.
Now they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And so you can have kids growing up, they can see themselves doing all these things on TV, and we want to have that same effect in the real estate community. We want them to see that there are, realtors in all sorts of walks of life.
Right.
And that is not, it's totally something they can do without, they don't have to do the tracks that we were in the 80s where they just kind of shoved, you must go to college
Yeah, exactly.
and get a degree, which is a completely valid career path if that's what you want to do. There's a lot of careers that require a college degree, but for what we do, it's just hard work and continuing education.
Right. Do you think it's just more of a matter of students just aren't aware of some of these opportunities
were you aware? Were you aware what it took to become a realtor in high school?
Well, so as you and I have talked, my wife and I have owned multiple properties since we've been married, and every agent said, hey, you're pretty good at this. With my banking background, I kind of understood the whole process. But when I asked them, how do I get into real estate? Nobody could tell me, or nobody would tell me. So when I finally came across my mentor that finally told me how to get in, here I am. So it's just taking the right person, I guess. So that's kind of the next thing is, what's the group planning on doing, or what's kind of the talk as far as how do we get in front of these students? How do we get people that are interested in starting their own business really for not much? Because I know I personally spent about $1,700 to get going. That was my science classes, that was all the tests and everything else. So if you think about it from that standpoint, it's a pretty inexpensive business to start on your own.
But for an 18-year-old, it might be kind of expensive. But considering all the other trade schools that you have opportunities for, yes, it is a pretty low barrier to get involved. It's finding the right brokerage to hitch your wagon to that might be a more challenge for these kids, because when you don't know what you don't know. When I first started, there was only like a small pool of brokerages that were on top of mind to me. But then once I became a realtor, there was like, oh, there's 1,001 different ways to run a business.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it's that kind of thing. But for the efforts, as far as the efforts go, we want to make it fun and engaging for the kids. At 18, they're not going to want the nitty-gritty, the numbers and stuff like that. We just want to give them a path. So a couple months ago, I was in the Oakmar Leadership Academy, and our class project was to cooperate with this local nonprofit called Urban Bridges. They specialize in underserved students, and they have tons of opportunities, and it's an after-school program that just gives the kids a little bit more support.
Okay.
They have like a STEM program, they have arts and music, and they have like 3D printers and all sorts of things that are wonderful. But so we went in there and we did sort of like a career day, and I designed a game for them. It was kind of based loosely off of the game of life. It kind of evolved during the process, but it is a simulation of the home buyer process.
Okay.
And it's meant to introduce them to the professionals that are involved in a home buying purchase process.
Right.
The inspector, the loan officer, the closer, title closer, and just kind of give them a really brief and entertaining snippet. Because you're not going to run over, like closing fees with kids and stuff like that. But it was fun, but it was also engaging for them because it was a game. They go in, one of their occupations could be a realtor, a loan officer, or whatever, and then you go through the next booth and they would say, how much could you afford with that person's salary?
Right, exactly.
And it's kind of like that. Similar to like the MASH game when you were growing up, like maybe I'll buy a mobile home or a apartment. No, it was much nicer than that, but it's kind of giving them a real, like, you can be a loan officer and you can still afford a nice house.
Sure.
Kind of the point with that, and then you go through and oops, maybe the house has foundation issues and you have to lose a turn or something like that. It's been a while, but I believe that we're going to be launching a similar program with Oklahoma City PS.
Okay.
With their career initiatives that they're doing as well, because they're also trying, because I don't remember when exactly it happened. It might have been the pandemic that affected all the trades, or it could just simply been something that just happened over a natural attrition. That we're suffering with the amount of tradespeople in the market. Yeah, and I think the pandemic made it worse, and it's going across all the industries, ours included. And so we're partnership with Oklahoma City Public Schools to kind of give them an opportunity to show kids our industry, our professions, so that we can get more diversity that reflects the community that we serve out of starting them out at high school level.
Right. Well, yeah, and then of course, it's obviously talk about the trades and other things to do. I mean, my son is second year electrician. Same thing. He's kind of got he'll have his pick of what he wants to do or can do in the business, because we've got, for every 100 guys that are in the trades right now, there's only 10 to replace them, and that number's looking even more bleak as they go further down the line and look at other kids, because they're just not getting into some of the stuff. So while college is a necessary educational path for some of our businesses and industries, it's not necessarily everybody has to do that, and not everybody's cut out to go to college. I know I tried many different majors and different things, but ultimately decided I was better off doing something different on my own. So
yeah, I mean, some of us are just more mechanically inclined, and I think that's where trade schools are, or people who learn better by doing. Getting the practical knowledge in the field is amazing for them. Not everybody learns by sitting in a auditorium and watching slides all day.
Yeah, exactly.
I knew I had trouble staying awake in some of those.
Well, yeah, and of course, my mom has given me grief for a long time about my collegiate career, and of course, my head's full of just random facts and useless information. So, well, how come you just couldn't do that in college? Well, if you could have put the whole thing on a videotape, done. I'd retain it forever. So yeah, I'm audio visual, but I can't sit down and read stuff. I have to discuss it and talk about it. But so it just sounds like everybody just needs to kind of understand that there are other options out there, and this is one of these that you can get into pretty quickly, pretty easily, and be able to own your own business. Obviously we don't work for anybody. We do work with a brokerage and a broker, because we have to have our license hung with somebody for a while. Well, cool. Well, so I mean, that certainly is something that it seems like would be fairly easy to do, as far as getting in front of kids, getting in front of people, let them understand kind of what's going on.
This is a process, because I mean, with anything with bureaucracy, they want to do it right and make sure that it's polished before they launch it out to the school systems. But even in our own association, we are trying to reach out to like grassroots organizations and try to support them and give them more of a voice in the community as well.
Right. Okay. Well, cool. Well, that concludes our drive. We're at the house, so we shall transition. Cool. So we have arrived at the house. We are here in Northwest Oklahoma City. We're on 49th in Drexel. This is a listing that Jimmy has with us here at Brix, and we're going to kind of run through it and see what the house has to offer. Whether that's your first home, a rental, or investment for somebody, it certainly is a nice looking house. And we'll pop in a second. Alrighty. Got all the lights on. We're ready to go now. We'll just kind of run through and kind of give us a quick tour.
Okay, awesome. Well, this is a little bohemian gem of Mayfair. It's one of the larger properties at 1,659 square feet.
Okay.
It is a 3-bed, 2-bath, so a really great starter home. We had a very artistic seller. Who's offering a painting credit of $3,150 based on a local contractor who says they can come in and paint the trim and the wall whatever way that the buyers want. The seller is really concerned about volatile organic compounds that come off of paint, and so they didn't want to paint it one color and the buyers have to go back and paint it another color. and so they're offering my credit.
Gotcha.
They're also offering a $5,000 closing credit, which the buyer can use for whatever they see fit. Closing costs, prepaids. Your realtor will know what those are. Actually right now, Central Bank is offering a $5,000 lender credit for qualified buyers. I believe if you make less than $68,000, they would use that to buy down your interest rates, which is really great for the overall monthly payment over the life of the loan. So call Central Bank and call Brooke Gagliardi. So over here we have all the rooms are kind of coupled on one side of the home with one full bathroom over here that's recently remodeled. And so to say about that, it's really nice.
Gotcha. Yeah,
all the rooms are about the same size, with plentiful closet in them and storage. And you go this way, we have the dining room over here. We have casual living over in this direction here. The great thing about this place is there is a giant media room in the back, or a flex space that families can use. Kitchen here will be to the right. The laundry facility is also in there. Pretty spacious. There's plenty of room you can put here. You can put an island in here and give you more counter space. Or you can put a dining room table if you prefer to eat in. Then now we're entering into the flex space or media room. The previous owner had a slide projector on this wall over here, and it was just kind of their hangout spot. But this is a huge additional spot that a family could use for their den, informal living. There's a beautiful fireplace and exit to the huge backyard.
Awesome. Let's go out to the backyard and see what's out there. Yeah, it's pretty big for a city. I mean, obviously it's one of those things that you kind of give up yard space sometimes in some of the neighborhoods, but this has got a pretty good little wedge back here.
Yeah, with shed space with the property, and so it's big enough that you can do a lot with it. You can increase privacy for sure, but the neighbors around here are very nice. So
right.
That's not an issue. You can come back here. The yard work is not a lot. I mean, it's an ample yard, but it's not huge that you couldn't get it done in a couple hours.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And solar panels. So the seller is very, very committed on their pollution.
Green initiatives. Yep.
Exactly.
The solar panels come with the property. The loan on it is assumable. It is $70 a month.
Right.
And I have utility bills that actually just basically offsets the entire cost of it.
Okay.
So you're essentially paying for the solar panels as long as you live here. But the electric
but
company,
it does offset everything.
Yeah, over time, once you get it paid off, that's where the real savings come in. But right now, if there is a power outage, you might have electricity a little bit longer than your neighbors.
Yeah, it's kind of a built-in UPS, if you will.
Yeah, and then you can also get like a generator and a backup battery if you wanted further reinforcement.
Right. Yeah, no, green tech is coming along.
Yeah.
It's I know I've got a cargo trailer. I put 2 solar panels on it so I could charge all my tools when I had my little construction business for a little bit. So it runs all by itself, does its own lights, and probably need to check on that. I haven't looked on it in a couple of years. I'm sure the batteries are probably about done, but it just sits out there and charges, does its thing. So cool. So if this is something that interests you, obviously you can contact us here at Brix, contact Jimmy, or any information I've got down here below, and we'd be happy to help you out, answer any questions. If you want a private showing, can certainly connect with either one of us, preferably this guy first. We'll get you taken care of. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you on the next episode of Realtors and Rides.